Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM, brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this December the 12th, 2020, and what we call the fastest 90 minutes in outdoor radio programming. Getting ready to hit our 20th year. Won't be very long from now, but second Saturday of the month means that normally John Gordon of Ducks Unlimited and Ron Wong would be on. Well, John's he's in Texas goose hunting or something, I guess. And so Ron's got to go solo with me on the phone. So, Ron, I know you're looking forward to talking to this next guy because Ron loves a story. And this next guy.
Oh, listen, a great storyteller.
Yes.
Absolutely storyteller. And, of course, we're all members of CEOPA.
Yes. Now, we got to explain that because, on the last segment, we talked about CSU, and everybody thought we was talking about a drugstore, and we was talking about Colorado State University, and our guest
Southeastern Outdoor Press Association.
There you go, Ron. You did it good, and I've known this man since April of 1988 when I first joined CEOPA, and has been a friend since then, and that's my good friend, Jim Casada. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning to you, fellas.
Hey, I know it's early in the Carolinas, but hey, buddy, somebody's got to get up and do this every Saturday, So, a book that I know has got to be close to your heart. A book that goes back to your roots in Bryson City. A book that goes back to your Grandpa Joe. That you still have his rocking chair there by you. A book that talks about the Lords of Loafer's Glory, a book that even has a glossary in the back, folks. And we're talking about A Smoky Mountain Boyhood, Memories, Mussings, and More by Jim Casada. Talk about it, Jim. I mean, this has got to have been something that was, this man has written, how many books, Jim?
I've written, I think this is the 18th original book, and I've edited and compiled 15 or 20 more.
He knows how to do it, folks. But I think this one has his heart. Not that the other ones didn't, Jim. I've got several of your other books. But talk about this one.
Well, you're precisely right insofar as it having my heart. I didn't know it then, but I know it now, a marvelous, magical, mystical boyhood growing up in a really special place in the heart of the North Carolina side of the Great Smokies. If you look down in the fine print at the bottom of my birth certificate, I am pretty sure that it'll say certified hillbilly. and that's what I am, and this is simply a 300-page plus collection of ramblings and thoughts and experiences, grand characters, and what it was like to be a boy, I think not just in the mountains, but probably pretty much anywhere in the South in the 1950s and early 1960s, because I'll correct that a little bit, anywhere in the rural South.
In the rural South. And, of course, you can't get more rural than where you grew up, Jim. I mean,
I'm country as cornbread. I was at birth, and that has never changed. And while I don't live in the Smokies anymore, it's the home of my heart. And the people there and their folkways and approach to life have always had a special place in my heart.
Well, anybody that's got a grandfather whose middle name is Hillberry, that struck me as your Grandpa Joe, but his middle name was Hillberry. That's pretty close to hillbilly.
It is, and I have no idea where it came from, but of course, my dad's name and the name he went by was Commodore, and it had nothing to do with a naval rank.
That's right. I forgot about
that. Is unique.
Yeah, I forgot about this. And when you put it together, again, we're talking to Jim Casada, our good friend whose book is out and available now. And we'll give you all the details because it will make a great Christmas gift, a stocking stuffer for those of us that love to read fiction. I gotta read the truth. Okay, I gotta read the truth, nonfiction. These are true stories. I hope they are. If they're not,
they are. Now I've got to add that.
You're going to get Jim. You're going to be a Jim's.
Once said, no, I'm not going to say they're lies or not. But as Grandpa once said, it's a pretty poor piece of cloth that can't use a little bit of embroidery.
I think Jim Spencer learned that from you too. Okay, so let's when it gets down to another great writer. But so you've divided it. You have all these chapters. You divide it in 4 sections. Talk about the way the book came together and how long did you work on this thing? Because this got to be something that's you didn't sit down and do it in 3 weeks. So talk about the evolution of the book.
Well, I've had the book in mind really since I became a writer, and in some ways before that. So it's decades in the making, in a sense. And over time, bits and pieces of this appeared in newspaper columns or in magazine stories, and in one case, a portion of a chapter in a book. But gradually it dawned on me that I needed to take to heart the words from an old song that were about the Western artist Charlie Russell, and his compulsion was to get it all down before it's all gone.
Yes.
And so I tried to get at least some of it down as I knew it before it all went away, and organized it partly around geographical and seasonal approach, part of it about really interesting people that I had known, some of it just stories. And as you have already alluded to, my Grandpa Joe, who was a grand old mountain character, as eccentric as anyone could be, a boy trapped in an old man's body was what he really was, is a central character.
Yes.
And there are 40-odd pieces or chapters. Every one of them is standalone, but I tried to give some kind of organizational linkage, and hope I succeeded in that in at least a modest way.
Well, I think you have, and again, I go back to this is a man after my heart. He still has a Rolodex, okay? All right? He detests the word blog, okay? You still got a landline, right?
We're talking, one end of this conversation is going on a landline.
Now, some of you listeners out there might not know what a landline is, okay? This is not something that goes with bombs or anything like that. You know, this is the old phone line and everything. But he has done this, I know, from the heart, and you also use some of your brother Don. I noticed in that, and your sister Annette. You guys are pretty close, and it's really, when I put this thing together and I asked Jim to be on the show, never in my mind did I think that one segment on today's show would be about millennial fly fishing in the Smoky Mountains later on in this show. Now, does that not fit you, Jim? I mean,
well, I'm not sure if you're suggesting I'm a millennial lost in the modern way.
No, I'm associating that there are still some folks out there, young folks, that are taking this thing up, and you were born in that area and know all those streams. And here I've got a segment from young guys who are taking up fly fishing because of the love of the Smokies and the streams of the Smokies. And I know there's not too many streams that you probably fished in every one of them. And probably,
well, I have fished in every one in the park, and 10 years or so ago I did a book on just that subject. But bully for those young folks because I'll simply let your audience know what an old poet in Bryson City, a man I knew well, and one of his sons was a good friend of mine. He described the area as the backside of heaven.
It is.
And for a fly fisherman or somebody who loves the good earth, it is a truly special place, the most ecologically diverse place in the Northern Hemisphere. And, of course, it's got all those wonderful trout streams.
Well, we're going to talk with those guys in a couple of segments from now. But, again, we're talking to Jim Casada on his new old, when you think about it, Smoky Mountain boyhood. And I got to say, Jim, I don't know if you have a favorite chapter or whatever it might be. There's so many in here. I'm already up to, I just read chapter 18 with a passion for pocket knives. Jim, I've got, if I lose, pocket knives are a part of me. When I'm long gone, I want them to go with me because I've lost one of them 18, 20 times, and it keeps coming back. You know, so how did you come about? You got these different stories. Did they roll out like that? How did you put them together?
Well, they just some of them were passed down. My grandfather and my father were accomplished storytellers. Although Grandpa couldn't have told a story without his hands, he punctuated everything with his hands.
Yes,
but some of them came from them, and then they were just things that struck me are odd or unusual incidents. And in the case of pocket knives, I'd be bereft and lost without one,
yes.
and got in big trouble at the Social Security Administration when I went to sign up because the guy at the door said, you look like a man that'd carry a pocket knife. Well, I took that as a great compliment, and I said, yes, sir, I've got two, as a matter of fact.
Well, I think I've got one at 201 Poplar somewhere they took away from me. That's the police headquarters downtown in Memphis one time. But talk about now how to get a copy of this, and I know my listeners, we'll post this, folks, on lroutdoors.com, my website, and you'll be able to pick it up, and you'll be able to listen to this segment again sometime down the road. But tell our folks out there how to get a copy.
Well, if they want a signed and inscribed copy, and I guess that won't detract from the value too terribly much, it's got my John Henry on it. They can order it through my website, which is JimCasadaOutdoors.com. And if you can't remember that long bunch of words strung together, just Google Jim Casada, and I will be up there toward the top, the first 2 or 3 entries. And that's the simplest way, is to go through my website. It's available, of course, through all the normal inline merchandise or book providers, but obviously I would prefer you order from me, and the one thing I can do they can't do is sign and inscribe it.
Yeah, and of course the University of Tennessee Press is doing this. Anything they do is great out of that. And but check it out. This retired professor of history at Winthrop University. Golly, that's been so long ago. You can't call yourself retired.
No, I'm not a retired.
I'm not retired either, Jim. I mean,
me neither.
No.
None of us are.
No.
I'm a recovering professor.
Well, I guess I'm a recovering outdoor writer. I guess I don't know, but I've been in recovery a long time. Jim Casada, thank you, buddy.
Thank you, folks. You and Ron have a great holiday season.
Same to you.
Merry
That's a
Christmas to you, Jim.
Smoky Mountain Boyhood by Jim Casada. All right, Jim, have a great one, okay?
All righty. You fellas take care.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, Jim Casada. All right, let's take a break on Outdoors of Larry Ray, and boy, I enjoyed that. Okay, and I'm enjoying the book. I hope you have a chance to pick up a copy of A Smoky Mountain Boyhood. Golly, I was not born into that. Ron was born in the Delta, I know, but the Delta of California. I was born as the son of a used car salesman.
But now I'm a redneck in Memphis.
Watch it now. Watch now. Now, you and Peanut Kwan, he's the redneck Asian. Now, come on. I know that for a fact. All right, let's take a break, come back, and we'll switch gears, a little duck talk time on Outdoors Larry